Well, hello there. It's me. That guy from YouTube. You might have heard of me. I'm that guy. Hopefully all is well. In this adventure, let's call it that. In this adventure, we're gonna finally attempt to hook up the Harrow to the Kirovets. But not only that, I'm also hoping to go on the field with it in order to test it out. I'm not really sure how things will go. Maybe everything will go perfectly well, or like usually, you know, something will just explode. I mean, that tends to happen quite a bit, more than I would care to tell about. But now the Harrow in question. The Harrow in question is right over here. Now this particular Harrow is my buddy's, and he doesn't need it at the moment. He has a new Harrow for his big tractor. So he brought it here in hopes that I could hook it up to the Kirovets and maybe do some field work with it on a nearby field. Now technically this thing is undersized for the Kirovets, without a doubt. It's pretty small. I mean, it's not very small. It still weighs like 1.4 tons. It's actually pretty big, but if you want to put it behind the Kirovets, then this thing is small. I'm pretty sure the Kirovets can handle much bigger Harrows, maybe like 5 tons, maybe even more. I'm not really sure. One more thing to kind of point out, some of you already did mention that this Harrow is missing some parts from the rear end. There should be some I don't know, some type of tires or roller or something on the rear end which smooths out the disc job basically. But that part has been removed because of bad bearings or bushings, and my buddy just didn't want to deal with it, so he just kind of removed that part completely. But maybe we don't need that part. I'm not really sure right now. I've never used a Harrow before, so this would be my first attempt ever. But technically we should be able to just fire up the tractor and try to hook it up immediately right here. I would need to make a bit of room for it, but on a technical level I think we should be able to do that. We've done all the prep work, and if everything is sort of okay, then it should hook up pretty well. But there are a couple of things which might be a bit problematic. I gave it a bit of thought, and I'm thinking we may need to redesign this part ever so slightly because of the length of the cylinder on the Kirovets. It's a bit longer than it needs to be. Sadly, I can't really do anything about that. So maybe we need to relocate that hole somewhere up there, perhaps. A bit, the further away the better, but I can't go very far beyond this post. Like somewhere here would be. But maybe we don't need to do it. Once we hook everything up, maybe everything's perfect and we don't need to do anything. Just have to hook it up and see, I guess. But anyway, I think we can just kind of get to work now. Let's fire up the Kirovets, see how the cylinder works. Maybe that thing is kind of busted and doesn't work at all, although it should work. I mean, we did open up the cylinder last time, changed out some of the seals and whatnot. But we never tested it, right? We never put any oil in it. So maybe I'm not really sure. Yeah, I think I need to add some oil as well to the hydraulic tank. I think that's empty. The last time I checked, it was actually somewhere over there, so pretty low. Oh, and last time we fired this guy up was somewhere in the middle of the winter, so about 4 months ago. So I'm not even sure if the guy will fire up, you know, maybe something broke in half. selle koha peal. Päris madal siis. I don't know, seems like we're missing a lot more fluid than we lost with the explosion. I think this guy goes through more hydraulic fluid than diesel fuel. These are 40 liters in. Still don't see anything. It's somewhere over there. And this is my last supply of the John Deere hydraulic fluid. Okay, I think we're there now. Like 50 liters of fluid missing. I mean, I'm guessing we lost maybe like 20 liters with that explosion. A maximum, right? But not 50 liters. Plus, I would notice if it was leaking so badly. I don't see any major leaks anywhere. I mean, it's oozing out from here and there, but very minimal. That's kind of weird, honestly. A mild leak here. Something's leaking here. Yeah, one of the turning cylinders. Now I remember. Can't quite understand though. Is it the hose or the fitting? Or is it coming from somewhere upstairs? This part is extremely oily. Feels like it's coming from this cylinder. I can't understand anything, man. It might as well just kind of come up from up top somewhere. I think the main culprit is this cylinder right now. Maybe it's just like a loose connection. I actually had that before. And then the hydraulic valve block vibration with time had loosened up those huge nuts. And that was actually a thing. But I'm not really sure if that's the case here. That doesn't move. Nope. That's stuck. Maybe it was that thing. I mean, what kind of sucks is that the entire cylinder is super oily, although the frame on top of the cylinder is not oily, so it has to come from the cylinder itself. Maybe there's a bad hose somewhere over there. Yeah, behind the cylinder it's very oily. But there's nothing there. Maybe the cylinder bore itself is leaking. I mean, could be right. Leaking from there. This part comes. This part separates from that part, and there's like a seal or O-ring between the two parts, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe it's leaking from there instead. If that's the case, then the cylinder, I think we need to take that off. So that's gonna be fun. Maybe we can tighten the cylinders like maybe that's loose. No, that's solid. Well, that's pretty loose. Look at that. Loosey Susie. kurat, siin on ruumi keerata. Aga jumal lahti, jah. Kurat küll. That one is open as well. Okay, I actually think that was the issue. This one was really good. Definitely tighter than the other side. Or there is one more possibility for a leak on this cylinder actually. It can also come from the pipe up top. I'm not sure if you can see that pipe over there, which carries the oil to the other side. And there should be a tiny O-ring at the end of the pipe. Maybe there's no O-ring there, or it's busted. And with these Kirovets cylinders, I've kind of noticed a pattern. You know, I opened up 4 of them now, and all of them had busted piston seals. And basically all the O-rings were broken in half, and the support rings, well, there weren't any. They were all missing for some reason. Plus, at least on a couple of occasions I can remember, that little O-ring, which is at the end of the pipe, that was also not installed. So maybe that's the case actually. Maybe if we put some pressure inside the system, then something's gonna leak. Right now I don't see anything. But anyway, I think we can fire up the guy now. Quickly gonna go clean up the green box in front of the Harrow. Looks like everyone's getting ready. Oh, by the way, the guy finally fixed his fence. I think that brown crap is the leak stop liquid which we poured inside the coolant last year. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. It looks really nasty now. Fire in the hole. engine oil pressure, gearbox, and well, nothing else works. We don't need that, whatever. Let's check if the cylinder works or not. Maybe center. Oh yeah. Something. Other way. Oh, look at that. The bazooka is coming out. That's pretty good. I'm gonna chunk the wheel a bit. Maybe we can spot that leak from the cylinder. Okay guys, what did you see? Where is it coming from? Because something is coming definitely from somewhere. Okay, that looks wet. The top connection looks wet. And the entire side of the cylinder is wet. I think there's like multiple leaks going on here. It's leaking from both the hoses. Maybe bad seals in them or no seals. I think these should have like some type of gaskets. And the top pipe over there is definitely leaking as well. That means the cylinder has to come off. Basically it needs like a full service. I think I should just do like a complete seal replacement on it anyway. Most likely the piston seals are busted as well. So I guess I'm just gonna add this one to the list. I think it's kind of pointless to just do the hoses right now. I mean, if I open up the hoses, I'm gonna lose a lot of fluids on the ground again. I mean, into a bucket, not the ground. But yeah, this I just need to take the cylinder off. It's no point doing just the hoses. So I'm just gonna add that to the list. I mean, maybe we can do a little bit of work here. If the leak is too terrible, then we have to stop. I mean, it looks like it's leaking pretty badly. But maybe we can do the work right now. Now I'm gonna invite Steve over. I'm probably gonna need some help hooking that thing up. And then we'll assess the situation. See what's next. Oh man, look at that. Steve's already here. Man, I haven't even woken up yet. It's like the moment I mentioned the Kirovets, the guy just teleports in. What the shit? What? Something happened. What's up, Steve?
Hello, hello. I think we might need some air into the tires. This one's pretty flat.
Yeah, we can do that later. I think I want to get the Harrow on the pad right now.
Okay.
Then deal with the necessities.
I'm good. aitab! Lase veel veits! Veel natuke, hästi vähe! Aitab! Kõik! Nüüd tõsta üles! Ei saa! See pool ots on viltu! See pool on viltu! Okei, proovi uuesti! Korras!
Oh, sai sisse isegi.
Jaa, me peame selle sisse saama.
Sorry, buddy, but this attachment is mine now. I've claimed it.
Yep. Oh yeah, the moment of truth.
Holy shit, this thing
It's wedged in.
weighs a bit much. Ma lasen allapoole seda.
Ma arvan ka. Kuba. Ma tahtas ta olla äkki.
Tule see siit kaalub liiga palju.
Originaaltõmmitsega ei saanud ka panna, tuli jumala kinni.
Tule keerlen maas.
Juba teisipidi.
Kardan, et kui ta siia alla kukub, siis ta lööb selle vedru puruks.
Ma ei tea, kas me äkki kuidagi raudtangiga ei saa siit kahekesi tõsta niimoodi kontrollitud. Prooviks ta kahekesi kuidagi alla lasta.
Siia panna, aga
No see libiseb ära.
ära, jah.
Ma ei tea, mingi koormarihmaga tõmba kokku. Kui siia jäku, siis ta ei libiseks kohe ära. Siis teeb siia peale lihtsalt midagi. Almost, jah. Vaada nüüd. Ikkagi meil on vaja seda Harrowt üles poole saada.
Vähemalt progress. Ma tõstan, sina vaata enam-vähem kui augud kohakuti vähemalt. No võta see ära. Vaata, kas saad kuidagi siis.
No, sain. Almost.
Ei vaja tõsta.
Ei. Segab.
Oh. Sees.
Success.
Okay.
Ja siis ei muud kui lift her up, I guess.
And back to the depot because something's leaking. I'm really sure. I think that's coolant. What?
Clean.
Clean cut.
Dude, what the heck? Dude,
Look at that.
that's just, you know, that's not safe. I mean, you could weld it back, basically. I don't know.
How the hell?
It's not clean.
I was not expecting this, bro. No, I think I'm gonna bring the welder here. Let's weld it back on the spot.
Yeah, it's
Maybe.
not clean.
That's pretty cool, actually. I was not expecting that. Wow.
Guess mobile welding service.
That's okay, but let's go check out what's leaking up front. Bubbles!
I think your head gasket is still dying with you.
Yeah, bubbling coolant.
That's head gasket.
Head gasket, yeah. Another thing that we need to fix.
Okay, there's 3 things: shifter, head gaskets. That 3-point hook broke. Oh my god. Do we get to farm ever with this thing?
Oh yes, in about 100 years and at least 700 episodes.
I think you need to do the same trick as on the other one, just weld a bunch of angle iron on it.
I'm getting curious how it broke though.
No, it broke off on the upper mount. That one just snapped clean off.
So I can see that this side has yeah, look at that. This side has been welded back together and also reinforced. So this has happened to this as well. But you know, we're gonna weld that back. Then we should be able to pick the guy up, drive it to the depot, and figure out the next step. Gonna call my Harrow buddy and say that, hey, your disc Harrow broke my Kirovets, now buy me a new tractor.
I don't know, like, do the cables actually reach that point?
Or stretch them longer.
Yeah.
Okay, now we need to lower it
I think I can lower it from the cab, even if it doesn't work.
Maybe we need to fire up the engine.
I don't know, like, if you lower it, it should lower itself without any stress.
Oh, I think I know what broke it actually. This part. If you look at the
Yeah.
the part that I welded on here, it went there as the thing traveled up and then bent the thing until it broke, right?
Yep.
The pin is too long, it needs to be shorter.
Significantly shorter.
It needs to be like that.
Yeah.
Okay, good to know.
There's too much stress in the metal.
So it was not the problem with the ding, rather another oversight. Whoops. I love creating work for myself.
See ei tule jah?
Suru sa käis on.
Ei, see ei suru. Surub küll.
Aga mitte piisavalt.
No, aga me peame siis welding asjad ära võtma, et siin midagi vastu ei lähe või? Alla! Ait!
Okay. I think that's gonna be pretty okay for now. So yeah, I'm pretty sure this guy broke because of that pin. So we need to modify that pin as well. And we definitely need to modify this guy. And right now, if the guy is sitting on the ground, the rear discs are on the ground, but the front discs are basically not even touching the ground. So we need to bring the pin further that way. So I'm guessing like somewhere there to give us some tilting leverage. Right now we have none. So maybe we can pick this guy up now and drive it back to the depot and do everything that we need to do. on viltu või? Viltu või?
Täiega.
Oh. Flat tire.
Vaat seespool. See on nagu
On jah viltu. Ma ei pannud tähelegi. Kurat, aga neid ei saa reguleerida üldse ju. Need on lihtsalt punn läbi ja kõik.
Как tu Soviet Union.
Soviet Union, jaa. Äkki kui rehvi paneb täis, siis ei ole hullu vast.
See tuleb küll pumbata see väga tegi teine pool samamoodi.
Jah. Bloody hell, I think this went very well.
What? You break it, you buy it.
Okay, how much?
$4,000.
Tammi peale ka Pepsi jah.
Time is money noh.
Oi, väga hea. See on tasuta lämmastik, minu poolest. Tulgu aga.
Guess we just have to get to work now.
So what's the deal, Avik? This top link needs to be
We need to redesign that. We need to bring the mounting point somewhere there, so we have more leverage with the cylinder right now. We have none.
And we have to, these pins need to be turned the other way around.
This thing needs to be turned, and on the other side. Yeah, basically cut this thing shorter, new hole, and also cut that, grind that steel away, so we would have more room. Yeah. Need to also figure out the gear shifter problem. Currently the issue.
But I think you're missing, these are good, these are the pegs, but there should be a cover here that should hold this. I think the problem is inside here. This one, the shift forks is so worn in that this guy doesn't...
Just jumps over it.
Yeah, it jumps over it. So basically, I think there's some linkage needs to be cut. So this part with this forks needs to come off and redone. And then that gear shifting problem should be fine.
Well, basically, if I'm stopped on a slope, then I have hard time getting the gear out because there's pressure on the...
Well, pressure on the detents basically.
Yeah.
So I think that cover needs to come apart and going to figure. I think there's something worn so badly in that basically that's the problem.
Well, I can get the gear out with this guy as well, but it's just kind of annoying, you know.
Yeah, I mean the pry bar works always. That's the guaranteed one. But I think like just take the top cover off and look at what's going on in there. I don't think just don't weld it on here because you don't want anything inside the transmission or transfusion rather.
Yeah, most likely.
Yeah. So I guess your plan is set. So I guess we can actually now conclude that we had some success with this guy.
Well, at least it's mounted on the rear end.
Yeah.
Had some setbacks, but nothing much else. Need to do some modifications and a couple of fixes, and then we can go try it out on the field.
Yeah, I think that will be a great day when you drive on the field.
Can't wait for that part.
Again.
Yeah, the machine will break in half on the field. Front end will drive off, rear end will be left behind.
We never know.
Yeah.
We never plan these things. I mean, they just break without our consent, really.
But yeah, let's just kind of get to work, I guess. First things first, though. I gotta quickly batch this door up. This was never supposed to happen. I haven't had really any problems with these doors. Other than that guy flopping around with the wind a lot, maybe that's what broke the boat ultimately. I actually built those doors maybe like 10 years ago, maybe a bit more. They've worked pretty good so far. It's probably very heavy. Oh man. Stop escaping. My grandpa always said, when you're living off-grid somewhere, that the work will never end. It's you who will end first. Can't wait for that part. I think this guy is dull. Courtesy of that stupid whistle sound. I think I haven't sharpened this thing ever. This drill bit has lasted for a really long time. Oh man, that is so good. Oh, this thing was definitely worth it. Man, that old hinge is one tough tomato. Okay. Oh, that's pretty good. Oh, it's a bit higher than it was before. Oh man. There you go. I'm gonna add a couple of more bolts though. Sadly, I'm not sure how far the hinge reaches out, you know. I can't remember, this was a very long time ago. But I'm betting these hinges are actually pretty long. Maybe like even this long, perhaps. But I think I'm gonna do it somewhere over there. Kus mul teist poolt kinni veel? Saagi seda teist poolt kuidagi kinni hoida ju. I think the threads got a bit smacked. The hole is very precise. It will screw on there, but I have no way to hold this thing down. Okay, I think that's pretty good now. Yeah, I would say so. Now, I could do the same on the other side as well. You know, it looks kind of weird now because one side doesn't have those things, but I don't have time to fix things that are not broken, so I'm not going to do that. I'd rather go work on the Kirovets. And clearly, right, this guy is not just broken, it's beyond broken. I mean, we go casually put on an attachment and like 10 things on it break simultaneously. Man, I hate when that happens. You just kind of walk next to something and then something catches you in a pocket or somewhere and then rips the bands open. Dude, all my bands are broken because of that reason and that reason alone. And that's really annoying, man. Wish I had no buckets whatsoever. Then my bands would last forever. But anyway, let's try to fix at least some of the problems. Now, like I already explained, right now gotta deal with that so that doesn't break anymore. Gotta redesign that. And although this bolt came out pretty good, I would say maybe add some reinforcements here. But maybe it's not required. I mean, that bolt came out pretty solid, I would say. Other than that, yeah, the gear mechanism, I need to look at that, what's going on there. Oh, and I want to bring the ignition switch inside the cab. Even if it's like a temporary connection, I'm kind of fed up with thing being there and I have to start the tractor while like being here. I'd rather just do it inside the cab. So we're gonna temporarily wire that thing inside the cab so it's a bit safer to start the guy. I always have to like check if the gear is in or not. So if I start the guy there and the gear is in, the guy is just gonna take off. So that's like a big no-no. So maybe we'll do some other things as well, but let's start off with that thing. Man, what type of freaky steel is that? Oh my. Look at that. Completely flattened my tip. I think this pin is surface hardened pretty severely. It doesn't even leave a mark, man. It's just completely flattened my tip. Bro, that's like chisel type of material there. How the hell am I gonna drill that? Okay, so there's several different ways you can try to break through a hard surface like that. In most cases, the hardness is only on the outside layer and the inside, yeah. Inside is pretty standard, I guess. I think we just need to break through the layer, the outside layer. And we could try to use a masonry bit because that thing has a carbide tooth on it. We could try to use torch to heat up the area. Or I think we can also try to use a carbide burr just to go through the top layer. Not sure if this will work though. Maybe that's enough. Maybe not. This is 100% not tall. I know that for a fact. No, nothing. Okay, let's try the torch then, I guess. The goal is to get it to about 1500 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 815 degrees Celsius. You know me, guys, I'm very good at conversion math. And then we need to let it cool down slowly in order to break some steel thing. Breaks the grain boundaries, making it drillable. Something cherry hot should do the trick. Okay, well, I'm gonna let it cool for a bit. Ah, look at that. Bloody hell, that actually worked. No way, man, that is still hardened pretty badly. It's actually doing something, but just gonna take forever. $37. This could be a great candidate, I guess. Nice, even greasable pin. Look at that. I'm gonna build a chisel out of this guy later. Woo! Look at that. Clearly not hardened, this one. Guess it's not old enough. I don't mean to interrupt, but that was me, so don't bother checking your phone. I'm gonna go modify this a bit more. I think it needs to be as flat as possible. Actually, I think we need to turn this guy around there's more clearance on this side. Quite a difference. Plus, I think you can actually adjust these things. Well, you should, right? Down there. And that part should be the adjusted part, but I have no idea what the threads are doing. They're probably smacked or rusted into oblivion by now. Good thing it's an option at least. Currently, I'm not sure if we need to adjust the height. And while we had it on the tractor before, it looked like the thing was severely tilting to one side, but then again, one of the tires is almost empty, so maybe it has something to do with that. And once we pump the tire up, then it's not a problem. But if it's still tilting, then it would be great if we could also adjust the height of these arms. I think that's fine, and I think I'm not gonna add any reinforcements here as well, any additional ones. I mean, I'd say that weld came out pretty good, and it only broke because that pin was basically too long and it got in a really bad position, which basically broke the thing. Okay. Now hopefully that will provide us the necessary clearance between these two parts. Now let's focus on this guy next. We need to get the pinhole somewhere over there. The further the better. What? Not again. Dude. I just installed this thing this morning. The moment they take a hit from somewhere, they just immediately crack up. I wish you could only buy the thing that breaks. And for example, in the set I also have the big screen one, which I never change out, and then we have the this thing. Well, this thing doesn't go there; it actually goes on that screen. But on this camera, that screen is burnt up anyway, so you can't really make anything out of that. So this is completely waste. I mean, plus I don't change this out ever. This is also pointless. Wish I could only buy the one that goes there, and then I would buy like a buttload of those. Just a second, we're doing a little operation. Because of all the burn marks, it's kind of hard to set this guy in a perfect position. But yeah, basically from this set, I can only use two parts. That and everything else is just pointless. I don't need that. Wish I could just kind of buy these separately from somewhere, but I haven't found like a spot to do that. Maybe I should put this little crane attachment on the Kirovets rear end so we could easily lift the cylinder. What do you think, guys? Maybe turn that thing around and welded it somewhere over there. That would definitely help, right? Would look super weird though. Right now it's there, but if the hole was somewhere over there, then that would be really good. No sa keevitad siit kinni ja siis sa pead mingi spetsial kuradi jupi lõikama sinna, mis ta kinni toob veel eraldi siia. Ka ei saa panna teda. Võiks mõõgaga peaks. And there's gonna be one weird mount. Oh, looky there. Maybe it's gonna rain later. Hydraulic oil and sawdust burn very well. But no, I think this will work. This should be pretty okay. I mean, it's gonna look really weird, but then again, it doesn't really matter as long as it does the job, right? Now I just need to reinforce this part pretty well, but I think it's fine. Yeah, I think this is a very good option to do the mount and still use most of the original parts, so I don't need to make anything new. That should be melted together pretty well now. Looks super weird though. That looks like some serious porn over there. And not the good kind. The weird kind. I hate that these things are flopping around. But no, technically I think this should work. For the attachment at hand, most of the forces are gonna be on the bottom pins, right? At least for this attachment. The upper mount is just for, well, I would say it's for lifting only. The discs need to dig into the ground and then you just need pulling forces. But still, I kind of hate that these things are flopping around so much. Maybe I should add a bolt down there instead. Okay. And that should limit the side sloppiness, but it's not gonna eliminate the back and forth play. But it should be better than the pin solution, I think. As for the positioning, I'd say we have maybe action over there. 130 millimeters of play. I think that's enough. I mean, right now the guy is flat and we can still pull the end closer to the Kirovets so we could make it tilt towards the Kirovets. So, I mean, during operation this guy needs to be flat anyway, right? Unless we were working on a very deep slope, then we would need to tilt this guy towards us a lot more, right? But luckily for us on that field, we shouldn't have any slopes. It's pretty flat ground overall, so it should work there pretty good. I guess we'll see later. Right now, let's do the next thing. I wanna relocate the ignition switch into the gap, so it would be a bit better to start the machine. But guys, I'm working on a wild theory right now. I don't think it's the head gasket. I mean, kind of makes sense, right? But dude, I have some pretty decent evidence which point towards not being a head gasket leak. No, actually, this did not come with the tractor. This kind of happened last year after we did something specific to the machine. I'm not sure if you guys remember, but when we were working on the exhaust manifold, we discovered something. I just now remembered it actually. And then I think that's the problem here, not the head gasket issue. So if you can remember what we discovered, then well, actually this happened before we even took the exhaust manifold off the engine, but one of the manifold bolt holes is broken into the water jacket, and I think it was this one. I think I should even have like a video evidence of that. So if I'm gonna be able to find that, I'm gonna post it up for you right now. Look at that! Something exploded. I told you guys. Straight from the freaking exhaust port. Really? That's not good. Hopefully I found something, but I think it was this bolt. And my theory right now is that the manifold gasket right over there has failed, and now exhaust gases are leaking past the bolt threads right into the water jacket, and thus why we have overpressure issues inside the cooling system, plus bubbling coming off from up top. And yeah, actually, I think that's the problem here, because we did not have this problem this bubbling issue when I bought the tractor. I mean, when we went on the first rescue mission, you know, the solar panel dude got his harvester stuck in the field, and we went to the rescue mission. I mean, this guy actually got like pretty serious amount of hours that day. I'm guessing it ran for like 10 hours straight. And I did not notice any coolant leaking out from the top, no overpressures going inside in the water, I mean cooling system. Everything seemed fine. But after that mission, I started working on the exhaust manifold, right? And if I remember, we did not have a bolt there. There was nothing there, it was just an empty hole. So my theory right now is that at some point, someone tried to jam a longer bolt into that port and then accidentally went through the wall into the water jacket. They realized their mistake and they just kind of JB welded the hole shut. And they never installed a bolt there. And after I bought the tractor, for the first 2 years, I also didn't have a bolt there. But I didn't really think of it that much. I figured one day I'm gonna work on the exhaust manifold, then I'm gonna assess the situation. And after I assessed the situation, I cleaned out the hole and I put a bolt in there to hold the manifold down. But after that, we started having these weird symptoms, like why is there pressure inside the cooling system? And I think that's the culprit. It's not the head gasket, it's actually that. I mean, that seems like a pretty solid theory, right? I mean, all the evidence kind of points to that. It's very easy to actually breach that wall into the water jacket, and now exhaust gases are leaking from the manifold through the bolt threads straight into the water jacket. So considering all those evidences, I think that's the case, and we just need to block that hole up. I mean, couldn't hurt to try, right? Maybe that will eliminate the overpressure issue. Now during that video we undid all the bolts, and this was the only one which had a broken wall straight into the water jacket. I have to watch the video, but I'm pretty sure it was that one. So I think we should also try to do like a plug option there, and that would either confirm or deny the theory, and it shouldn't take that long of a time. So I want to do that as well, but first let's deal with the... Maybe we can even use the original ignition switch. I mean, this seems to function, but the old wires are probably busted, so we just need to get some temporary wire going here. I'm gonna curse the day when I finally start working on the hydraulics. I mean, not hydraulics, electricity parts. Because basically I think I just need to tore everything down out from this equation here and install new wiring completely. This is like Soviet booger electronics, and then someone tried to fix it by making it 10 times worse. Okay, so I'm guessing this is the incoming line, but we probably shouldn't power anything up. I mean, connect the system to the battery. Right now the only thing that is connected to the battery is the starter and nothing else. I'm thinking once we put power into that thing, maybe something will even work, you know, light up, but most likely things start like burning down as well at the same time. So I'm not really sure if I should even attempt that. I mean, for example, we can see that that fuse is busted. That's completely melted. That's good, that's good. That's melted. That's good, good, melted. What the hell is that even, bro? It's like we got the main fuse and then someone soldered like a piece of aluminum there or something. What the hell? So this is just I think we can still use this old fuse box, but just kind of tear everything down and start from scratch with the power, because this is just not worth it, I think. This is absolute garbage. I have no idea what's going down here even. What are these for? Is that a socket or something? Dude, I suck at this. I really hate electricity work. I think I'm just gonna get new wire for this guy. Aga ta ei tule sellegipoolest. Siin on ikka mutter taga. Stupid Bobcat technology. Let's add nuts on every bolt. Kurat, see on midagi suuremat. Ei ole siis 11. Türa küll seda paska siit juba ära saada, nagu mingi täielik õudusune nagu kõik relakaga maha lõigata. Ma üldse ei näe, kus see kuradi huinaa ees. Ei ole 12 siis. Kujuta ette, mis mutter seal siis on, ma ei saa aru. Ükski kuradi võtti sinna ei hakka, hoina. Türa, ma hakkan närvi minema siin juba. Peres hommik alles arvas. Ma panen juba masinaid põlema siin varsti. No ei ole, ükski võtti sisse ei hakka siin. Persse, miks see nii ei tee, ma ei saa aru. Jumala jobu. That doesn't do anything. Guess we can use that one. Yeah, that works. And just in case, can disconnect everything else. We don't want to send power anywhere else. But basically we need to get a new wire going from the battery terminal, positive terminal, up to this port, and from there to the starter, and then it should work. One thing I kinda hate about this tractor is, dude, it's so big. I mean, I'm 1.86 meters. The last time I checked, and the fender is basically the same height. If you need to work somewhere higher, you always need like a, I know, Soviet chair with you. That has always been an annoyance, but it's not a problem. You fancy that? A random piece of culvert pipe the exact length. No. Things are finally starting to pick up. Look at that, guys. Old dead wiring holding up the new wiring system. It's like building a new city on a bunch of rubble. Usually that's not a good idea. Most likely the foundation will sink. To be honest, I kind of find it funny what the previous owner told me about the wiring. He told me that the ignition switch doesn't work because someone stole the wiring. Dude, man, what are you talking about? All the wiring is still here, but nothing works. That was actually quite funny. Maybe to me only, I don't know. Okay, well, technically the ignition switch should work now. And I love that fold-out option. That's something that the Bobcat engineers did not think about. Yeah, I think starting this guy inside the cab is gonna be very fun. Well, at least it's much safer, right? Starting it here. But now before we do that and hook up the new mount, let's try to figure out the exhaust situation. Maybe we can block the hole with something, and also then we can start everything and either confirm or deny my little theory. I would prefer not to take the exhaust manifold off. I mean, that thing is extremely brittle. Even moving it slightly might just break the thing in half. So I don't really want to take that chance, because finding a new one is kind of annoying and probably will take some time. I guess we could fabricate something out of steel, but then again, you need pretty good like precision there, I guess, to make everything flat. Maybe we can do it without taking it off. Let's see what's up. A lot of that tape there. Or whatever's left of that. What's that? It felt like I released some pressure, you know. I'm not sure, guys, if you heard that. I haven't even moved the machine for a couple of days now. Beyond that wall even. Wow. Seems like we have a little hole in the engine. Then you can't really make out what's on the sides. There is just not enough room there. The great idea is that maybe I'm gonna make like a special block which will go into the threads. We will use some thread locker, try to hydro lock that thing in there, and then use a very short bolt. Well, maybe put like a little blob of JB weld between, and then use a very short bolt to gently tighten the manifold down. I think we can just kind of go as deep as it will go. It should eventually stop. And I'm gonna put some Loctite on it as well. Make sure it kind of hydrolocks in there. Yeah, definitely hit the smaller hole. Maybe a bit too much. Oh crap. Yeah, a bit much. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna leave it like that. I'm not gonna over tighten it, I think. I'm just in case checking if a JB weld will like expand while securing, but does not significantly expand or shrink while curing. I was kind of thinking that maybe if the thing cures and it's stuck between two pieces of metal, maybe it's gonna break something while expanding excessively, but I think that's not gonna happen. You know, I think I got a pretty decent seal there overall. As we can see from here, the JB weld actually went between the threads as well. It's not just between the two pieces of metal, it's between the threads also. I had to do like 3 different bolts in order to get the bolt in there because I just put too much epoxy, I mean JB weld in there. But I'm gonna let this guy sit for a couple of hours and then I think we can actually try to start this thing up and assess the situation. Man, this feels kind of weird. Holy hell, dude, starting the thing in the cab. Oh, this is so weird. Man, I've had this tractor for like 3 years so far, and the only thing we managed to fix on it is the freaking ignition switch. Wow. Okay, some other things as well, but this is the most important part, right? Like the tractor wanted to go somewhere, but is it clear in? No. Or am I losing it? I was pretty sure the tractor wanted to move. Yeah, the tractor definitely moved. I kind of went back. What? What the shit is going on over here, man? The rear end of the... Maybe the hydraulics? Oh, the hydraulics were on. Whoopsie daisy. Man, I always forget the hydraulic levers on. What a stupid asshole. I'm gonna let that guy idle for a bit. Let's try to hook up the thing. Almost pushed my bobcat away. Look at that. Trying to sterilize me. Maybe it's for the best. A little oversight again. Yeah. But the thing is currently built at that side. However, I think that's because of the flat tire. And this thing is pretty flat at the moment. Guess I'm gonna try again later once I put some air in it. But maybe I also need to adjust these somehow. Although looking at those threads, then I don't know, there's probably nothing left there. Maybe that's not possible. Need to make a little adjustment to the wedge, but I think that's gonna work pretty okay. Other than that, oh, looks like we have a little leak here. It's my homemade fitting, and I do remember that that one did not come out very well because of this side. There's basically no flat surface to push the copper seal down, you know, and that's why it's oozing out, I'm guessing. What about that issue though? Do we have bubbles or not? I don't see anything. Before we had pretty serious bubbles, right? I don't see anything right now. Plus the fluid level was considerably higher as well before, right? It was almost at the top. I put the same amount of fluid in and it's considerably lower, so maybe that fixed that problem. Right now it seems like it. I think we need to do more testing, but okay, so that's leaking now. But then again, if it fixed the bubble issue, then maybe it's fine. I mean, we're gonna lose a little bit of turbo pressure with that little leak, but maybe the sacrifice is worth it. I don't know. I can't tighten that bolt down anymore because the JB weld has hardened inside the, well, inside the hole. So if I try to undo that bolt, I'm gonna break the JB weld and I would need to do everything again. So maybe it's fine right now. I mean, as long as we don't have that stupid exhaust leak into the water jacket, then I think it's fine. But we can't confirm that just yet. I think we need to do some field testing as well, and then we can draw like the final line, if that was the case or not. Right now it looks like that was the case, yeah. Right now it looks like that's the case. Starting and stopping that guy inside the cab is just so unreal. Sort of like breaking through the fourth dimension. And sadly, cutting that little piece out is gonna make this elbow weaker overall. Maybe it's fine. Maybe I can just kind of cut it like that instead. So I would need to do like a little stupid turn here. Should. I wonder how much this thing even takes. Probably no more than 2, right? And there's no information on the sidewall. Or maybe that's because it's the wrong way. I don't see anything there as well. Freaking Soviet tires? There's no information anywhere. Oh. 2.5 bar max. 23 psi. I'm guessing it's the same then. Now this is a Russian tire, this is not a Soviet tire. In Soviet times they didn't even bother to print anything on the side. Put how much pressure you can handle, bro. Okay. Oh man, I think we need to cut more steel away. Don't put your finger there. Yeah, definitely. Niimoodi lõigata ära. Niimoodi ikkagi peaks ära võtma, ma arvan. Läheb järjest rohkem sinna vaata peitu nii-öelda. Well, at least the tire did the trick, right? Totally level now, look at that. That is very nice. Still need to modify that thing a bit though. I'm still unable to put it all the way up there because of that clearance problem. Dude, I think I'm good at that. It's basically maxed out. And look at the clearances. That's just insane. Look at that. Man, this thing is engineered to perfection. Also, check that out. Woo! Woo! Woo woo! That's crazy, man. Plus, I don't need to really lift it this high, right? This is almost maxed out. But maybe we should add some type of little reinforcement plate there. I'm not sure if that's necessary. I mean, that's 15mm steel plate. Sort of a problem still. Nothing. I think that's fixed. I think that's actually fixed. Basically, that was not a problem before. We just kind of caused it by redoing the exhaust manifolds, and well, we created that leak, although we did not create that hole that was already there. And I think once we get this guy on the field, then do a couple of hours of work, then we should be able to nicely confirm if that's the case or not, right? But about this end though, I think maybe something like this should do the trick. Ooh. Things are starting to heat up. Watch the fire, guys. Don't let it spread, okay? And Spence the fireman. It should be okay. a little bit of moral support, I guess. I want to see if I can actually get these diagonal pulleys a bit closer. I do have a little bit of room there. Would be great if this guy didn't move too much on the rear end. It should be pretty locked nicely. Mingi surve peal praegu. I don't know, this guy doesn't want to go. There's like so much pressure there for some reason. Those things are so tight. And look at that, they're like sticks. They don't move at all. I mean, we don't have any pressure there. Same on the other side. So I'm not really sure what's going on. Okay, whatever. I think something's gonna break. I think it's fine. But I think that's it with the rear end, right? I mean, it lifts, it lowers, it tilts towards the tractor. Check, check, check. I can lift it all the way up without anything exploding. Another check. It's level. So another one. I think that's about it. Yeah. I think we don't need to do anything here anymore at the moment. Maybe once we start working, then we'll discover new issues. But right now I can't see any. But you know, before we go and have the time of our lives, there's actually a couple of more problems that we need to somehow mend. And one of the issues is the gear shift lever, like I already explained. There's something's going on there. But I think we're gonna do that last. Right now I want to have some type of solution for the compressor problem. Basically, the way the compressor or air pressure system works on the Kirovets tractors, it's pretty simple. The compressors on the Kirovets tractors, they never turn off. They will just continuously keep pumping air into the tanks. They're driven by a belt, they're cooled by the coolant and lubricated by the engine oil. You know, that dude over there. Ooh. My pressure relief valve is working. Maybe I should add a bit more. More on that later a bit. But the compressor itself is here, and once it hits like a certain air pressure, there should be a device on it which will release or vent that excessive air pressure. Now, I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's called the governor. You may correct me on that if I'm mistaken. Right now we're gonna go with that. And we got the air pressure gauge right over there, and the top needle shows the current pressure inside the system, and the bottom needle is supposed to show the pressure inside the braking system, but that needle doesn't work on this tractor. Once the pressure reaches 7 or 8 bars, the governor thing is supposed to open and start venting until it drops to about 4. At least that's the way it works on the other tractor. Now on this tractor, once the air pressure hits 8, it's gonna start dropping down to 4 and then start building up to 8 again, and just gonna go like that indefinitely once you shut down the engine, that is. On that guy though, that's not the case. Something's clogged somewhere, or the governor thing doesn't work. Yeah, in this guy the air pressure actually goes beyond 10. I don't even know how high it reaches. This thing doesn't even show how high the air pressure climbs. And so far I've used the brakes. If I press it very hard, then one of the brake chambers starts leaking. And that's the way I've taken the pressure out of the system, or at least lowered it. Now, I'm not really sure what will happen if you don't release the pressure. I mean, eventually something has to give, right? We're just gonna develop like new stupid leaks somewhere, or something's gonna explode, like one of the compressor tanks. Now, I'm not really sure how the governor system is supposed to work. Is there a spring somewhere inside here which releases once the pressure climbs too high? I mean, we could try to open this thing up and figure out the issue. Maybe there's like a simple clog. There is a lot of moisture inside the air system on this tractor. Maybe something has just kind of rusted up. So yeah, I think we should try to tinker with this guy a bit. If we can't fix it, I do have a backup option. You know, this little thing, like I have on the expansion tank, this is basically a pressure relief valve. There's a little bolt there with a counter nut, and then you can adjust the pressure between 6 or 12 bars. And we could install it, you know, directly there. And then this will kind of take over the work of the governor, I guess. And once air pressure starts climbing too high, then this will open. Maybe this is even like a better option than trying to mess around with that governor thing. Maybe we should try. If this works the way I'm thinking it's gonna work, honestly, maybe we don't even need to deal with the stupid compressor. I mean, oh no. Looks like that broke finally. Oh man, this lasted for several years. So sad. Whatever, we'll build it back later. If it's fully closed, then that means it's 12 bar, right? So we should leave it somewhere in the middle to start things off with. Okay, so that's working right now. That's very good. I'm gonna add a bit more. currently perfect. It seems to open at around 8 and then close at around 6, so we can quickly check it out here. It should open pretty soon. There we go. But I think that actually works pretty good, honestly. Oh, windshield wiper. I mean windshield wiper. Oh, dude, I think that actually works pretty good. The only sucky thing is that it's probably gonna get messed up with contaminants like water and oil and stuff. The position is kind of bad for it, but that works pretty good, you know, right now, right? And with that being said, I think I'm not gonna mess around with the original governor as of right now. I mean, the alternate option works. It seems to work pretty good. My only concern with this setup is that maybe this guy will get clogged with something like rust, oil or water or something, and maybe this is not gonna work for a very long time. But then again, it's so easy to clean this. I mean, you're just gonna undo that little bolt, then you can pull the pin and the spring out, clean the seat, put it back together. It takes less than a minute. Maybe that actually will work out for a very long time, who knows? Guess time will tell, right? But you know, if that thing fails almost immediately, then we can always try to figure out what's going on. What's the problem with that guy? The most likely this is something just clogged. I'm pretty sure the air is supposed to come out from that hole. And there's most likely some springs, seals, something inside of it, which doesn't work. But whatever. Right now, let's deal with the final situation, and that's the gear lever. I think it's an easy fix, actually. I did take a little sneak peek inside there yesterday, and I think, you know, removing this part is completely pointless. We're not gonna achieve anything with that other than wasting a bunch of time, because the shifting forks, you know, the shifting forks themselves are in mint condition, I would say. I don't see any wear on them whatsoever, so that's not the problem. The issue is in the lever itself. The end of it has just kind of worn down too much, so we need to weld this guy up. And the corners have kind of rounded out, and because of that, it's just kind of jumping over the fork. And that's I think that's the problem. At least I don't see any issues in there. That seems actually pretty good. Another problem, I guess, is that this guy wants to travel upwards. See? When I'm pushing the lever thing down. It's not supposed to work like that. It needs to be locked down as well. But I don't think I have like a part for this, honestly. Needs to be some type of a huge cork which goes on top of this, which keeps the lever from coming up. But sadly, I don't think I have anything that I can put there. This is some type of fine thread cork which goes on top of here over the lever. And I'm pretty sure I don't. I mean, I can look, but I'm pretty sure I don't have anything I can put there at the moment. So maybe it's just welding this guy up is enough. No, it doesn't work at all. I think there's too much material there still.
äkki lähed keevitad tippu veel natukene juurde, vaata, sest on sügavus on nagu päris okei siin isegi ütleks. Added a bit of deepness to the thing, maybe that will make it better. Usually though, that's not the case. Usually if I try to make something better, I screw something up. I think this might work. Maybe that's all it needed. About the cover though, I don't have anything to put there right now. Maybe I can have something 3D printed for that part if I can't find the original. I don't even know how that thing looks. It has to be something specific. Plus, I'm pretty sure it's not gonna match up with the booger welds, so that's probably gonna get in the way as well. And plus, I can't really jerry rig anything together myself as well. I mean, the biggest thing I had, which also has a fine thread on it, is this crown nut, and it's not even big enough. It looks like it needs to be slightly bigger, maybe like a couple of steps bigger than that. So maybe if that was big enough, I could cherry rig some type of a cover. But I just don't think I have an option for that right now. Okay, but whatever. I think I'm gonna leave it at that right now. I'm gonna try to find the part which goes there. I'm gonna do like a Facebook post or something. And just as of right now, I don't have an option for it off the top of my head. So maybe it's, I mean, the thing worked fine before until it started slipping over, and maybe after adding that steel back there, it's not gonna slip over anymore, and then it's gonna work fine for the foreseeable future as well. Plus, if there is an issue, we can just quickly pull the thing out and use a pry bar, right?
But guys, I think I'm gonna pick this up in another video. I mean, this one is kind of getting long and I don't want to rush the field work. Maybe something will go horribly wrong there as well, and then we need to deal with that situation, right? And as of right now, I don't see anything else that we need to do off the top of my head. Guys should be pretty much ready to go. I guess we'll see how things kind of work out and then take one step at a time, right? Maybe everything works and nothing will go wrong. Then that would be kind of lame, but also a win at the same time, I suppose. So I'm gonna call up Steve as well, and we'll do a little follow-up to this video, I guess. See how the field work goes. Yeah. See you in the funny pages. Bye-bye.